So I was talking to a few individuals. One of the things that has been common in the conversation that I've had has been the jump, the different little jumps that you have to make when you start off, right? Because when you start off, I think it's the easiest, maybe 6 months that you're gonna have, and even those aren't easy, right? But the reason I say they're easy is because there's so much work out there that you'll start to say yes to a lot of different type of jobs, right? Because you understand that you're at the beginning, because you understand that you need to see some money start to flowing in, and you want to just have work going, right? Because you have people who are going to depend on you, whatever your reason may be. I think at the beginning, getting work is not hard. But there's this one quote that I remember I read a long time ago that I really like, which was the illiterate of the 21st century aren't the people that don't know how to read and write, but the people that can't learn, unlearn, and then relearn. And that was so so impactful. I've always thought about it, and today I can reflect on how that has actually manifested itself in this business. Because when we start off, we need work, so we say yes to a lot of work, even though it's not the best work, or yes to a lot of clients, even though it's not the best clients. Like, for example, me, I said yes to a lot of work on Facebook, okay? And they were very underpaid, but I knew that I needed to get something running. So that's me learning how to get work, right? That's the first part. Then I had to unlearn that because I realized that these guys were not valuing me. And if I kept telling them yes to a lot of the work that they were giving me, what was going to happen was that they were going to fill me up for 3 to 6 months, let's say, and then you blind yourself, right? Because you think that you have a lot of work, and you think that since you have a lot of work that you're going to be having a lot of profits. And then when that work finally runs out, or when you finally have some time to sit down, you realize, what the fuck, like, where are all the profits? And at this point, you start to say, okay, I need to find more clients, or I need to find better clients. And if that's not the path that happens, either way, you get to the same hump or the same test that you have to surpass, because you get to the point where you may have a little bit of work here from one or two clients, right? So you have one or two jobs, three jobs consistently a month, and they're very easy to take care of, right? So you think you're doing the damn thing, you're just like running it, and what happens is that this again creates a false reality, because these individuals that are giving you one or two jobs can only do so for so long, because they're not doing their marketing themselves. So once their jobs end, you find yourself back to square one, which is you have no work. And then at this point, you start to say, all right, how can I find more work? What can I do to do more work? And when I was in this point, this is when I was like, all right, I need to do outbound email. Like, outbound email, because I didn't have no money for gas. I didn't have no car to do my driving for dollars, and my funds were tight. So I was like, yeah, this is just what I have to do. I have to figure out outbound. Once you figure out outbound, I went from having just one or two guys giving us work to 10 guys currently. And again, I learned how to outbound email. And then right now I'm actively going to the phase of unlearning the comfortableness of having clients who are consistently giving us work. Because at this point, I don't have to do any outbound, and I'm still gonna get work. We're still gonna get work. But I had to unlearn that, because I want to take us to the next level. Like, I'm hungry to get to the next level. So is my dad. So is my sister. For me to do that, I have to unlearn that bad habit of being comfortable with these guys, these 10 guys that are giving us consistent work, and get back into the habit of changing up my outbound email, changing up my client list, rebuilding a list, and then outreaching out to them. But within that, there's been a lot of stuff that I've been learning over the last 18 months, man. And I'd say that the biggest one for me has been maintaining focus, because the second that I wanted to go into the next phase or take us to the next level, I started making a really bad decision around where my focus was going to. And I started thinking, okay, what can I add new to our business? How can I do things differently? All of this stuff that doesn't matter. Like, you don't need new. You don't need new at all. What you need to do is more and better, right? And this is one of the things that I learned from Harmozy a long time ago, and now I can see why he was saying it. Like, literally right now, because my brain was going for the last 30 days focused on trying to find something new, right? And that's not what my business needs at this point, Okay, so I just need to sit back down and do more outbound. So I need to increase, right? If I was for the first half of this year, I was sending out 2 to 5 emails a day. Right now, I'm gonna be sending out 15 emails, 10 to a brand new list, 5 to a follow-up list, and then doing 5 outbound calls, cold calls, right? So that's gonna be 20 touches a day, 100 touches a week, 400 touches a month, 1,200 touches in the next quarter, right? And what that's gonna do is that's gonna just be more of what's been working. So that'll increase us. We should, if the numbers are gonna prove themselves the way they have been, we should have another 8 to 10 clients, right? Which would bring in each client's probably worth about 30 to 40,000, and then each client right now is giving us about 2 to 3 big jobs a month, right? So when you can add all this up, you can start to kind of see where you will be by the end of the year. If everything ends the way that I'm thinking, we should be close to about 2 million at the end of the year in potential revenue. And so at that point, it's just my job to continue to follow up. It's my job to continue to grow the relationship and get that first job across the finish line, right? Because again, I have all the data that supports. Once I get that first job across the finish line, they typically give us every job after that. But getting that first one across the finish line is a bitch. It's a pain in the ass. Nonetheless, that's why I focus so much on building a relationship, the follow-ups. That's what's going to get that one across the finish line. But it's been a crazy 18 months, bro. It's been crazy because literally 1 year ago, we had just wrapped up last June of 2023, and it was the first month that we had made some income. And then from there to now, at that point, I was still sleeping on the floor. I was doing nothing but locked myself in the room, figuring out my outbound, figuring out how I was going to get more clients, figuring out how to set up my contracts, figuring out how to set up my outbound, my proposals, figuring out how I was going to introduce myself when I made these cold calls to these guys. And now 1 year later, I'm sitting here recording this video in our office space, right? And it's just crazy, man. It's dope how close this business has been bringing back my family and I, especially my dad's relationship. But although it feels good, I don't feel like I'm winning. I feel like I'm up 1-0 and it's like the first 5 minutes of the soccer game. You know what I mean? And that's kind of scary because I know that I crave a lot more. And I guess it's that same desire that kind of checks me and puts me and realigns me, because when I think about the greater scheme of things, right? When I think about the overall 90 minutes of the soccer game and I realize I'm only on the first 5 minutes, you're like, wow, like you still have a lot of fucking work to do, right? And that realigns me, that re-humbles me, that re-grounds me and tells me what the fuck has been working. Do more of that. Do more of that and do more of that. And that's what I'm doing today, right? Today is 4th of July. I'm sitting here sending out outbound email and it's worked. Like I have 3 guys that have responded. I have probably 6 out of the 15 emails that I sent that have just opened and viewed my email. So on the first round of emails, it's just, that's the goal. The goal is just to see what emails are being viewed and which ones aren't, right? And then you continue the follow-up. So it's all running its course. We're all really happy. If I'm being really honest, year 2, you're still not making no money. I have $5, less than $5 in my account right now. and it's the reality of it, man. It's just the way it goes, because as business owners, we are the last ones to get paid. The business has to get paid first before I do, before my dad does. And I'm happy with that, right? Because I know that as long as I have internet and I have this laptop and I can outbound, one day that won't be the case no more, right? One day the business will be fulfilled. We'll have so much consistent work that, we're going to be able to withdraw our shares of the business and continue to operate. And so that's my main drive right now, man. It's just to get it to that point. But yeah, it's been a while since I made a video like this, so I wanted to make a quick little video, just what I have in my mind today, and hopefully someone can find some value in this. I'm currently working on a website. Where I'm gonna have really detailed videos where talk about my outbound. I talk about my sales process. I talk about how I follow up. I'm going to talk about how we grow relationships with our subcontractors, how they start to be on our team, and different things like that, which I think are going to be a lot more beneficial for guys who are starting off. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a good half of the year, second half of the year. Yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to closing off year two, because I know year one was a huge sacrifice. Year two is going to be a bigger sacrifice, but year three is when all of year one and two start to compound and things start to automize and clients start to just understand that, hey, boom, send it, we'll take care of it. A system begins to be a lot more fluid, and that's what I'm looking for. Fluidity is what I'm looking for in every aspect of my life. In business, right, I want to have fluidity around work that's coming in, it gets taken care of and it goes out, and the next one comes in, it gets taken care of and it goes out. During which, in the office we have our process. A job comes in, what are the processes that get done around that? It's being active. What are the processes that get done around that? And then when it closes, how my sister and my other sister are taking care of that, and everything is just going smoothly, right? I'm looking for fluidity in my personal life. I'm looking for fluidity with my relationship with my significant other, right? How what's our communication like her respecting that I like to sleep early, her respecting that I like to have these kind of conversations where I'm able to have 3, 4, 5 hours a day where I'm uninterrupted, just honing down on what I like to do. So finding the fluid state in those things, finding it in the relationship with my dad, with my sisters, with my mom, with my family, you know, finding that fluidity, that balance between what I really love, which is growing this business, seeing how it's growing, and then helping others grow the business, and then still finding time to go fish and go play soccer like I love to do. So, you know, that is what's very fulfilling. And it's crazy because even though I only have less than $5 in my account right now, um, the amount of peace that I have in me, and the clarity that I'm doing this with, is dope. Like, that shit is almost like a feeling you kind of get addicted to. And I don't know, I feel like that could be a little harsh to say, but I think it's the reality of it. Like, I feel myself getting really addicted to having this clarity and having this internal peace. And when something comes up, just looking at it and say, okay, cool, let it run its course. Like, this is going to teach us something. Being able to, but there's times that that doesn't happen, right? There's times that I'll start getting stressed out, and I'll turn around and look at my dad, and he's the one saying, hey man, just let it run its course. And then there's times when me and my dad are both like, hey man, we got to figure this out. And we turn around and look at our sister, and my sister's like, let it run its course, right? And so having that fucking, I don't know, man, inner circle with a lot of trust, with a lot of love that's around us, has made this journey really, really fun. And I'm excited to see where we're gonna be, man. Year 5, year 10, it's gonna be dope. So, anyways, yeah, man, I'm gonna just be randomly posting these things. I think right now my focus is my business, and as much as I want to help everybody out, I have to focus and get over this hump and document it, and then I'll be able to turn back around and say, okay, I see what you're doing. This is what we did. This should be able to help out.